We'll watch it later.
Who wants to go to Miami? I think we're live on YouTube. Anybody on YouTube there want to go to Miami? I don't think so. Too much humidity. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor
and Mitch.
And today we've got Kurt Braget on the show. But before we start talking to Kurt, let's get that Westwood 2021 update from the Mitch.
Nice. So, all right, got here last Saturday out at Westwood Camp Westwood, and Saturday we had the excavator come and get the pad ready for the pavilion we're building. And today we're putting on the last pieces of lumber and have the building constructed just about. We got finishing touches to do tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be ready. Only thing we're lacking right now is concrete. So if anybody knows a good concrete guy in Illinois, send them our way, man. We need someone to put some hard stuff down on the ground so we can have our dance floor. We got to have a dance floor.
Dance floor?
Yes.
You're gonna bust your moves on a dance floor?
We're going to bust the moves. And we're actually thinking of, we'll talk about the pole later, but
we'll talk about the pole. That's a
we'll talk about the pole later.
Is it the same one that came to St. Louis?
No, this one's going to be a permanent one. It's going to go from floor to ceiling and be a solid brass pole. So yeah.
The Westwood does not need that.
No, good times, man. Good times. So the meetup's happening on the 17th. There's probably going to be 20, 25 people here. It's going to be a great time. And I'm really looking forward to everyone enjoying the fruits of the labor that's been put in to build this thing. So it'd be good times.
Dude, that sounds sick. I'm kind of bummed that I can't be there this year because it's going to be the hottest place towards the end of June, except for my anniversary trip, which honestly, I'm a little more excited about that. So
yeah, you should be. You should be.
We're going to go to California, maybe some Seattle action. I don't know which way we're going to go.
You know, the funny thing is both come around once a year. So, well, Westwood comes around usually twice a year, sometimes three times.
Maybe three times. Maybe three times. We'll see. Maybe we'll catch a winter Westwood this time around.
Hey, you never know.
It'll be a fall, baby. All right. All right, let's get this show on the road. Kurt, welcome to the show, man. How's it going? Sorry to keep you waiting here, but we got excited about some good
No, I'm actually excited. I like to see how you guys do things, so it seems pretty fun already. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It's just it's a campfire. Like if you sat down and cracked open a beer with three people you've never met before at a campfire and you're just bullshitting, that's a great thing, you know? Like, I mean, we'll go back to like 2018 block show and talk about some of the good times back then, and then like just have a good time. I mean, okay, so we'll talk about that. Let's talk about block show. You remember when Ken Bozak stood up and just started screaming at somebody on stage? I don't remember about what, but
yeah, Ken, dude, he's a character, man. He goes crazy. I do remember a few of his episodes, for sure. I don't know if I remember that one in particular though.
I wouldn't call this one an episode. This one was more of just like a carefully worded, loud question compared to what Ken's episodes would be considered. He's had some good times. There's been a lot of fun videos on Twitter. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, he has.
All right. So let's go back pre-2018 block show. Let's talk about Kurt Braget before block show. When did you get into crypto in the first place? And like what actually got you excited about it? What aspect of crypto got you sucked in the most?
I saw Coinbase, like I saw early, so Tim Draper had funded a company of mine previously. And I was like, well, who's this guy? And I looked into him. I figured out that he was just really deep in Bitcoin. I think it was around 2011, 2012. And then it only took me about 3 days to like just start buying Bitcoin. So when I first saw it, man, I've tried to explain it before, but like, there are those moments in your life where you see something and you're like, that's fucking special. Like that is me. Like that's something for me. And one of those things that I saw in the past, like was skateboarding. Like when I first saw skateboarding, I saw it in a magazine and I thought it was like magic. And so I just knew that I didn't even believe it was real, like what the people were doing. And when I saw Bitcoin for the first time, it just gave me that feeling. And I always kind of chase that kind of feeling. It's like something so special. And I just went crazy down the rabbit hole. I was like just looking at what was going on in Bitcoin every day for years since 2011.
It's kind of hard not to get addicted when you start looking at it, right? I mean, it's anything kind of like you mentioned, where if you look at it and you don't know necessarily what the people are doing, that sort of, to me, piques curiosity, because like I want to know and I want to learn this new thing that, you know, I've never seen it before, but this sounds cool and it's doing all sorts of things that are totally up the alley of what I'm into. So yeah, I can totally relate with that. More importantly, if you could turn any body part into a storage compartment, what would you put in it and which body part would you choose?
Wait, can you repeat that question? I
If you had to turn any body part into a storage compartment, what body part are you choosing and what are you going to put in it?
I mean, I've always liked how squirrels or those certain animals store things in their mouth. I always thought that was super dope. You know, it seems pretty useful. So
Just have like a secret little pouch in your cheek.
yeah.
No,
No,
he'd have a compartment in his tongue. His tongue would be hollow.
Oh, there you go. I like that. That could serve like all sorts of purposes, multifunctions, because you can like move it around to places, and then yeah.
Yeah, I was reading that it like food can stay really good in there for a really long time. So like imagine if you had like a Subway sandwich and you could just like store it in there for like a few months. You ever
He's
get hungry?
regurgitating his food.
Do you have some like Honey I Shrunk the Kids technology? How the hell you storing a Subway sandwich in your tongue?
Right.
I don't have to build it, you know. So
That's true. It's not your responsibility to build it.
yeah.
Just use it.
I love
Sweet.
it. I love
Like
it. So when you first got into crypto and you went down the rabbit hole, what was the biggest thing that moved you? Was it the excitement of the money that could be made, or was it the use case and what that use case has done for people?
Yeah. I think at first, I mean, I'm a big believer in the more things that you can enjoy, the better. And so I really thought the technology was amazing. I loved the price volatility. There was something that feels really true. And like if you watch somebody like Michael Saylor, who I like to read his opinions on Bitcoin, but he's just like, look, the price you pay to get all of this growth is volatility. That's the price that you pay. And so there's something that I feel like is like a deeper truth behind something that's volatile, growing over time. Like the volatility is exciting alone, right? It's like a show. Like, do you want to watch a show that's stable, or do you want to watch a show like Game of Thrones where you don't know who's going to die and when they're going to die? There's something that's just kind of savage about the volatility that keeps your attention on it. So, and I wasn't really a finance person before crypto. I was more of like a software person. And so when it married, finance, it just became super interesting. So yeah, like the pricing and the ability to profit and what the technology could be used to do, like everything about it was like anything I could learn about it was exciting for me.
Well, it's just like you said, when you look at the volatility, you have to have the right mindset, really. When you're in this market and you're in cryptocurrencies, the mindset is integral in your success or your failure. And if you let emotions take over, you'll lose. You'll get wrecked in a minute. So it's getting that right mindset in place. And I think the key to that is never investing more than you can afford to lose. And if you live by that motto, you don't really, I mean, you care, but it doesn't affect you as badly when it goes down. And you take advantage of that. I've gotten to a point where I look at dips and pullbacks and corrections like we just witnessed as opportunity. Buy more. It's gonna go back up. We know this from history. It's gonna go back up. It is not going to zero. There's no way at this point. So that worry has to be out. But I think that's the only way you're going to stay sane with this volatility, because of it. It's so volatile, is having the right mindset for sure.
Yeah, you have to take beatings, man. Like I think that, this is not investment advice, but people are always saying like only do what you can and stuff. And there's a lot of truth behind that. Like that's probably the smartest thing to do financially. But if you really want to get good at fighting, you got to get your ass beat a few times, just not so bad that you end up with PTSD, but enough to where you take the learnings, like when I was a skateboarder, I used to grind on my face on the concrete, nonstop. And it's like, there's some learning behind that, and it makes you stronger. And so like, Bitcoin is everything. Like it's hard to talk about any of this stuff without Bitcoin. And so like, when you look at like our set, for example, Bitcoin origins, like it's all about Bitcoin in the history. And I've gone through so many different parts of it. Like I was there when, Pizza Day happened. I was there when, I used Mount Gox, you know what I mean? Like all of these different historical moments, I was there. And at first I was just like such a noob. Like I didn't know, like I was putting way too much money in. arguably, but I'm happy for those learnings that I took just from the beatings that I took from the market.
Oh, no question, no question. I mean, sacrifices in life and learning from our mistakes and yeah, without experiencing failure, without experiencing pain, you can't experience the other side of it, right? You can't experience success if you can't appreciate success if you've never had failure.
Yeah, for sure.
Bottom line.
It was a different time though. Like it actually brings back a lot of memories. Like I remember it was like if you wanted to get Bitcoin, you'd have to talk to a guy who like knew a guy, and then that guy was kind of shady and he sold it. And so like it was totally different then. And like people would be really surprised. Like going to Coinbase is like a really excellent experience now. It's like these guys don't know what it was like. Like you click into Coinbase, you know, click your card, you've got your Bitcoin. In PayPal, you click a button, you have Bitcoin. It was like before you almost had to get involved in something that felt shadier than a drug deal.
Gotta call Guido. Hey Guido, I need some Bitcoin, man. Come on, hook me up.
I think like the earliest phase of weird Bitcoin purchasing I was involved in was like the local Bitcoins era.
Yeah.
You know, and that was kind of like middle ground, super shady shit. But some of the stories I've heard, like, you know, 2011, 2012 era are pretty fucking comical. And before that, it's even, you know, before that, you were pretty much probably working on Bitcoin. Let's be realistic. So pretty close. But I mean, I heard about it and it must have been 2010. Like I moved up to Bozeman for college in middle of 2010 and I'd heard about it before I moved up here, but it was just some guy on Craigslist trying to trade shit for Bitcoin. And I had no idea what Bitcoin was. I looked it up and I saw one website for about 30 seconds. And I don't know what it was.
So he was trying to trade XRP for Bitcoin?
No,
sorry.
I got you. No, and I don't know. It didn't click. It didn't, whatever I saw didn't do anything for me. And I forgot about it until like 2015. And when I got a Bitcoin miner on trade, and then the rest is history. But like, yeah, some of the stories that we've heard from people that were involved, you know, as early as you were just, it makes you wish that you could just kind of go back in time and watch it all evolve over again.
Yeah. Like a friend I know told me this story of like he went to a bank to do a blind deposit to get some Bitcoin. Like that was like the way people used to get Bitcoin back in the day. Like you would just get a number from a website and then you go and do a blind cash deposit into a bank account. And then you'd hop back onto the web and you refresh the web page until finally somebody deposited Bitcoin. And then that same day, he read an article where it was like that company, I believe it's called like Local Till or something like that. They got the feds were like kicking doors down during that time because it was like it wasn't illegal, but it was really scary at one point in time. So like we kind of have to throw respect on those early guys that were doing all that stuff. That's why I think Bitcoin Pizza Day, which is like also, you know, like shameless plug of like one of our moments in Bitcoin where we sold that story, right? But like, why is that moment important? Because some dude spent 10,000 Bitcoin on a good. Like those kind of guys are like pioneers, like they're legends now, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I mean, the local Bitcoins, we kind of touched on that earlier. We had this vacation trip sort of for my graduation, and we were sitting in Rapid City, South Dakota, at a hotel that we had got with Bitcoin because it was 2018 and we were coming home from Rapid City. We were going to go home. And then I noticed that Expedia took Bitcoin. I didn't have fucking shit all for money. This is graduation. Like I was broke as shit, but I had some crypto. I had a little bit of Bitcoin. And so I looked on there and there was a super cool hotel room in Rapid City with like this huge ass water slide. And it was like $25 a night. There was some, you know, either a screw up or like it was one of those like last minute, we have a room, please somebody take it situations. And so I rented that. And then we're sitting in the hotel wanting dinner badly, still broke as fuck. And nobody has Bitcoin, and local Bitcoins was my only savior. So I go on there and I fill out the shit and do my thing and find myself sitting in the Walgreens parking lot for like an hour and a half waiting for somebody to send me a Western Union deposit for my Bitcoin. And man, it was like, it was weird.
Dedication, dude. That's dedication.
I needed food, man. I was hungry. Dedication. Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of fun how it's evolved. Like you said, now it's Coinbase. You just 5 clicks and you're done. Like I can have ETH into dollars in my bank account in about 20 minutes, give or take, depending on what method you're using. You can get it faster in some cases, but
yeah, MetaMask, man. MetaMask does wire transfer, like the service Wire.
Yep.
And you can just use Apple Pay to buy Ethereum now. I'm like, wow,
Yep.
like how did they get away with that? Like that's how it feels like when you're kind of in, like, I wouldn't say like I'm an OG of OGs, but I've been in it for a while, like probably 10 years or so. And when I look at it, it feels weird to do it. Like it's probably like a grandpa using like a cell phone. It's like, wow, like this is like a little fucking, like this is a whole universe inside of this little piece of plastic. That's how it feels when you were buying Bitcoin the way we used to. It was super hard. And now it's like, wow, really? Like, how is Wire getting away with that, with how easy it is now? And I don't work for Wire. That's not like an ad or anything like that. So.
No, it's still super crazy though. I mean, like the fact that I can click a few buttons and I've got Bitcoin out of an exchange or out of a wallet or something like that into my Cash App and turned into cash on a debit card, like ready to go buy something at some shop in the middle of nowhere. Like it's insane. And it won't be too long until the major payment processing companies start actually processing cryptocurrencies and that sort of thing. And then that's when major retailers and stuff kind of just fall in line just because it's part of their payment processing package. So
yeah.
Here we go.
So Kurt, I got a question for you. Why aren't you in Miami?
I feel like I've earned a lot of badges on the convention kind of tours.
Circuit.
It's just, I mean, I don't really love to travel that much, like just straight up, but if they're closer and they have something that I do kind of have a little bit of FOMO on Shitcoin Conf. Like that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't really care about Bitcoin as much. Like Bitcoin, when you're into it for 10 years, you just kind of get, it's not like even a new article comes out, so-and-so, Elon Musk bought it. It's like, you've already read 5,000 articles about how amazing Bitcoin is. It's just like, it's like a law of diminishing returns or something,
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, most conventions, there's a few exceptions where they're incredible. And, like CIS was an example of this, but most of the time you find yourself just listening to the same pitches over and over again and the same, it's all the same hype and everything. So it's more the after parties and just being able to like hang out with friends and meet up that's where the conventions really start to get exciting. And, I love traveling. And
that's the only reason I go.
Way too long. I'm ready to get on the road.
Are you guys there right now or?
No.
I'm in Illinois. I'm in a cornfield in the middle of nowhere.
building a hut.
No, if I wanted to go hang out with people and get fucked up, I would. But like, that's just, I've been pretty drug free for many years. I think 2 decades now.
Oh wow, good.
Nice work.
It's been a while, but also like
probably makes it hard in some of those situations.
What's that?
Probably makes it hard in some of those environments.
Has some way. I'm a bit introverted as well, so like it's not always. I don't always like to be around a ton of people like that. But I've had a lot of fun at conventions, though, man. Like I was really having fun at the Vegas conventions. I'll usually go there. Mm-hmm. There's always some really good ones in LA, and so I'm there.
Yeah, I hear you there. I'm the same way. I like to sit in my own little hole and not talk to people usually. So I'm honestly surprised that I ever do podcasts and that this even started to be a thing because like I just didn't talk to people before. And conventions are, I get that like sensory overload situation if there's too many people around me. And so I can get in and I get my like 2 hours and then I get out and then I'm like, and then I wait until we can just go have sushi at the rooftop bar in Los Angeles.
I mean, picture
for a while.
A conch shell right in the ocean, and that's the professor.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we first met, and
even then the water
pop out of his shell every now and then, and he grabs something and pull back in, and now he's like that colorful clownfish, right? That's just out in the open and saying, "Hey, here I am." I love it.
Awesome.
I mean, you meet amazing people. Like it's valuable. Like I always recommend people to do it for sure. I've done it a lot, and so some of them I'll skip. Like people are like, "Why aren't you in Dubai?" It's like I don't want to fly all the way across the world to go do that. It's kind of hot out there, So
that's like, I mean, I don't know. There's certain, I'm not going to get into it. Certain things get old in that circuit, especially some of the weather.
Dubai's on the bucket list though, for sure.
I've got to go
there at least
Dubai,
once.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you're into right now. So obviously when you get into crypto, you find yourself going down a number of rabbit holes, usually an incountable number because that's just how crypto works. How did you end up on the dApp development side? And, what does that path kind of look like for you?
Yeah, it sort of evolved over time. Like I remember when I was really deep, I think it was maybe 2012. 2013, I kind of had this idea that like crypto nerds needed a place to chat. And so that was probably the first. I mean, I was building like little news sites and just random things around crypto because I've always kind of been a builder. So I just started combining those two things. And then I built a mobile app that was about like Bitcoin chat. And that was doing quite well. And there's like a really great community there, and it was mobile. So it was like one of the only, mobile crypto chatting communities. And then that kind of grew. It was sort of like Trollbox in mobile, if you remember the Trollbox era. And then that just kept evolving. And then I worked on the first, cross-platform version of Blockfolio, and was really, worked a lot on Blockfolio. And Blockfolio was something that really opened my eyes to, where the opportunities are, and, how useful some of these tools are, and like shaping people's perceptions about how they view crypto. Like, I think that Blockfolio was really important because, if you went to home for Thanksgiving and you told your dad you're buying these shit coins or whatever, like they probably all think that you're crazy at one point in time. And I think we were working on Blockfolio in 2015, 2016. And at that point in time, it seemed crazy to be tracking, shit coins essentially in like it was TD Ameritrade or something like that. But it also, so working on that really opened my eyes. And then I just kept getting deeper in, like understanding smart contracts, and Ethereum was really taking off, and just kept going deeper and deeper. And I probably worked on close to 100 different dApps at this point, throughout the space. And then that kind of guided me down to NFTs, and I was building like crazy in NFTs. Then I met Jeremy, who's the CEO he was the CEO of Genius. And then we built NFT Genius, and just kind of decided that we would just go into solely selling NFTs and doing NFT sales. And so that's kind of like my story. It's always been, an evolution of building kind of like financial based products. And then I've kind of gone more into NFTs and crypto assets like collectibles these days.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what you guys are doing with Bitcoin Origins. It's the collectibles market has really obviously taken off. It's been insane. Obviously, there's kind of a slump right now with all of the market, because that's how crypto seems to operate. Anytime something slows down, when the markets start getting red, everything slows down. Just is what it is. But it's yeah, I really like the art that's been put into it, and the kind of the focus on community and bringing all sorts of artists together and that kind of thing. So how did Bitcoin Origins come to be? I know you guys have been working on it for almost a year now, right?
Yeah, I think officially since October. But we kind of all came together from different angles, as every startup really does. But I was building really heavily in the NFT space and kept meeting different people. Like I think you guys know Joel and Travis, who I'm pretty good friends with them over at Bad Crypto. And we've always just been ideating different stuff in the space. And then I met Jeremy and Carl, who are co-founders on NFT Genius, and all of the rest of the team, like Paul and Joe and those guys. And when we first met, I knew that I had like a really specific goal of like, I wanted to find the right set that I can put the technology behind, because like I found a lot of success myself just by finding people who have great vision and just kind of backing them with technology. And so, I was kind of shopping around that I wanted to join something that was like substantial in the NFT space. And Jeremy started pitching me on this idea of like, moments-based stuff. And NBA Top Shot was already starting to grow. And kind of the writing was on the wall that like what Top Shot and Flow was doing with moment cadences was really exciting. And Bitcoin Origins is actually released in a kind of a similar cadence, actually, where we have moments that are stories. And it's a story of Bitcoin. And I've been involved in Bitcoin for such a long time. I saw some of the artwork that Mute, our illustrator, he's a fucking beast. He was creating the stuff that was just incredible, man. Like, and I started to see in my mind, like, if I join up with these guys and we really go hard, we're going to end up with something like the Ninja Turtles for Bitcoin. And like, it might sound like a little bit crazy, but like, I was actually really into the Ninja Turtles, and Paul, who's our like main storyteller and runs our creative at NFT Genius, he was employee number 3 at the Ninja Turtles. And we have this crazy team with this background in production and working on movies and huge video games. And I just started seeing this thing unfold. And so I just went all in on it. And then, the success that we've seen has just been crazy. Like we've been making millions selling NFTs. Like I never really would have thought that that would be the case. But now we have this full story that to me feels like it reminds me of these crazy cartoons I used to watch, like Aeon Flux and Ninja Turtles, but it's about something that I care about deeply, which is the history of Bitcoin, right? So it's like all of the things that I love, like programming, all the nerdy shit, crypto and NFT. It's all like combined. It combines all of these different things that I love. So
Awesome, man. That's like the hardest thing to accomplish, success at something that you love in all aspects, not just you got a job in your favorite industry, but you fucking hate it. It's like, that's the Holy Grail.
Yeah. I barely hate it ever. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's fun. Like these guys are amazing. They're all talented. And so that's kind of been my journey. I've kind of taken a lot of what I've learned from dApps, and I'm a huge believer in the future of crypto assets and not just tokens, but like, NFTs, I think are, even if we go through a few bear markets, I don't really care. I actually like the bear market because I can focus more on building.
100%.
So that's me.
I'm the same way, man. It's like the social media gets quiet, and all the, other than just the Ethereum reply scammers, it's pretty quiet on Twitter. And it's just kind of the few of us that have been putting our heads down and building for, when it gets like that. And so you just have your friends, and it's kind of more fun that way. And then when the bull market hits, you get the mad rush of all the new people, and everybody's freaking out because the market dropped 4% the day after Bitcoin tripled. And, it's like, it's a different world. It's the bear market is enjoyable in many ways, especially if you're not like panic selling. It is what it is. It's going to go back up, and maybe one or two of your tokens that you've been holding in hopes of it's going to be $1 million coin goes to zero, and you just get upset, and it's okay. But that's the ups and downs of the bear market. And honestly, in the end, you get 2 to 3 years of good building time, and coming out of it, you have so much evolution that you can't do anything but dive in fully and just start playing with the new tools that you built in the bear market.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I almost like, I have these sort of theories, like they're just not really based on anything, but like I actually really love bear markets. Like they allow me to focus. I feel like a lot of people who came for the wrong reasons get squeezed out. It kind of hardens the technology. Like I feel like, for example, we just tested Bitcoin on this whole environmental issue. And to me, Bitcoin like braved through all that BS, right? Like it's not over yet, but I feel like every issue just hardens the currencies a lot more. And I think that NFTs are so new and exciting that even if, this is kind of my belief, that even if we hit hardcore bear markets on, the token side, I think that we're going to end up with, like, I don't think NFTs are really going to hit a bear market. Like I might say that to my team sometimes because I don't want them to get too comfy, but like I actually think that the bear market for NFTs isn't really going to be a thing in the short term because it's so new and so many people are coming to the table. I think it's going to change a lot, and it's going to be bloody for sure. But like you have these massive brands that are coming in a way that like this didn't happen for crypto. Like the way that these collectibles are happening on blockchains, it's a totally different thing in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. There's no question about it. It's so unique and so new and so fresh and so like just bam in your face, that how can you not be inspired by it? How can you not be intrigued and want to learn more about what exactly it is, right? It's so like for people in the regular world, and I say that because we're not in the regular world, and anybody that thinks that we're in the regular world is off their rocker. But for the people in the regular world that look at artwork and look at NFTs now, they can't wrap their head around it yet. And there's a lot to absorb in order to really get your head wrapped around the NFT space. But once you do, it's like Pandora's box, right? It just opens up this beautiful thing, and you're just like, the angels sing, and you get that little euphoria, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm home, baby, I'm home. This is me, right? I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. So, Kurt, I got one question for you. What's your favorite shitcoin? Give me the top shitcoin on your list, brother.
Damn, that's
obviously it's not financial advice. This is just your emotional. What's your top favorite?
What is my top favorite, dude? This is something like, it might be controversial, but one of my recent faves is actually Ethereum. And I know that a lot of people don't consider that a shitcoin for sure, but I have to admit, I've been really impressed by how Bitcoin has performed, not just in pricing, but just how that network has really grown. And I feel like it's not getting smashed as hard as Bitcoin is recently. And so there's something that's, building a smart contract blockchain is so superior in so many different ways. And I know that like Bitcoin maxis would be super pissed hearing that. And a lot of people don't consider Ethereum a shitcoin for sure. Bitcoin
You're
maxis,
top tier shitcoin right there. It's like, come on, go to the bottom shelf, right? You're picking top shelf here. Let's go to the bottom shelf shitcoins, right? I mean, like, Moosehead vodka or something like that, where you got this bottom shelf liquor, right?
yeah.
I mean, Ethereum is definitely a top shelf shitcoin. There's no question about it.
Yeah, like maybe a funny one just for fun is like I've actually enjoyed Hex. I really like the contrarian nature of like hexagons, and
Okay.
like I've always really been into shitcoins. Like I see them as kind of like I've always seen them as a way to like signal what tribes you belong to, and they're very expressive. And so like Hex is one that, I would never promote Hex publicly or say, you should get it. But it is pretty funny to me. Like I feel like Richard Hart is a pretty funny guy. But yeah, I kind of like some of the attitude and the people in Hex seem totally crazy in some way. Like they're a different type of person that's into it. And so I've really enjoyed that. Yeah, so those are probably my top shit coins for now.
I love it.
Nice,
Ethereum
nice.
and Hex. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Last question for you for the night. What are the top 3 things that you've eaten that you probably shouldn't have eaten? Non-food items count.
Me and my brother used to play this game called Mystery Burrito. That
doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so we would make really fucked up burritos for each other. And the rule was you weren't allowed to go in the kitchen to see what was being made. And so often there were toxic or very bad things that would usually make you puke. So that's probably one of the nastiest things I've eaten. I've eaten worms like off the ground.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else that I've eaten that's pretty nasty. I mean, like one thing I ate recently that I think is super fucking nasty is I ate a cinnamon roll from McDonald's, dude.
Okay, so what's worse, that or the toxic mystery burritos?
Dude, honestly, I'm pretty sure that McDonald's is
worms.
Worse, dude. It's
yeah,
it's some toxic shit.
I don't know, but all I can say, I haven't had one of their cinnamon rolls, but I used to like their chicken sandwich, like the really good one. And then they came out with their new chicken sandwich, and it was like smaller and terrible, and like I was sad. But I prefer KFC anyway.
It all tastes good, but I had a friend that recently just said that they ate some McDonald's and that their feet were swollen for like 4 days or something.
It does weird shit to you, man. There's something wrong. It's all right. That's America for you, though. We just like to do weird shit to ourselves and pretend like it's okay. All right. Well,
hey, real quick before we leave, I got a special guest here. If
Uh-oh.
Get his
Ghost
Clint
face
Westwood
is
come on, get in here.
Scene.
Get in here. Clint Westwood, say hi to everybody.
Howdy, everybody.
What's
Loving
up?
this guy. I'm glad Mitch is here. He's building stuff, bringing dreams into reality. Awesome time. Kurt, man, you're awesome. I love it. I was listening in the house. I can't hear you right now because he's got the headset on, but I was listening in the house and I just came out here with Mitch, and I'll tell you what, he devoured that wet beef burrito and in the background while you guys are live. So he can do it all, man. He's awesome. So no, great show, guys.
Thanks.
Professional. At least it wasn't a mystery burrito. I bet it was incredible.
Oh, it was good. It was a wet beef burrito. Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice.
So.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to the upcoming mystery burrito YouTube series. That's happening, right?
There you go. Yeah, we'll get on that next. Kurt, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. We hope you had fun. This was a lot of fun for us. I had a really good time.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, take care.
All times, man. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it
Guys,
easy.
thank you for joining us tonight. As always, we love it. We love having your support. We love having all you guys in the chat, talking away. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying the podcast. We look forward to doing this. I look forward to doing this every week, and I look forward to interacting with new guests and new people. So until next time, stay tuned, follow us on Twitter, and for all the updates at Westwood 2021. So until June 17th, we'll talk to you guys later.
Take it easy.